Coming up, Trump's mind is unravelling as the Epstein scandal dominates American politics. And here in Britain, our politicians are still rolling out the red carpet for this walking time bomb. Trump is not just unfit, he's unwell. And the implications go far beyond America. Stay tuned. Under the pressure of the Epstein scandal, Donald Trump is visibly, audibly and mentally deteriorating. Everything about him is falling apart. His administration is now less popular than ever. He's underwater with his approval rating on every issue across the board, including immigration. Physically, he's an old, obese man with an alleged addiction to Adderall and Sudafed, on a poor diet and who takes no exercise at all. His body is clearly failing him. His hands are covered in bruises, and his ankles have swollen up so bad they're larger than those belonging to the Republican Party's icon. And of course, his mental state is more important than both these other things combined. As bad as his polls are, as bad as his physical health is, the worst news of all for Trump and his supporters, as well as the rest of us, is his very obvious mental decline. This Epstein scandal has broken him in a way that we've never seen before, if that in itself doesn't sound too bigly Trumpian. Trump's emotional outbursts have become more extreme than usual. His memory lapses more frequent. His language more erratic and expletive-laden. And yet, the American corporate media dances around his cognitive state, and here in the UK, our government looks away in polite embarrassment. But this is dangerous, not just for America, but for the rest of us too. Mental health experts have flagged this pattern of behaviour. Unfiltered aggression layered on confusion and disorientation. That's symptomatic of neurological disorders, often Alzheimer's related, where the brain's emotional brakes start to fail. And that failure is visible every time Trump snaps, swears or loses his thread mid-thought. Fred Trump Sr., Donald J. Trump's father, himself suffered from Alzheimer's for many years leading up to his death. Donnie misnames officials, repeats rambling stories about his uncle knowing the Unabomber, which never happened, or thinks that Jerome Powell, the Fed chairman he appointed, was appointed instead by Biden.
He's a terrible Fed chair. I was surprised he was appointed. I was surprised, frankly, that Biden put him in.
That's scary if you're an American, but also for us Brits. The UK still clings to the idea of a special relationship with the United States. Our foreign policy, our military power and our trade ambitions are all shaped by an alliance with a country whose president can no longer remember who he appointed to his own cabinet. This is not Trump just being Trump. This is cognitive collapse. And now, under the pressure of the Epstein scandal, that collapse is accelerating. This week, congressional Republicans called an emergency summer recess to avoid having to vote on releasing documents connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Trump's own Attorney General, Pam Bondi, informed Trump that these documents contained his name, according to 3 different witnesses. These mentions evidence a friendship, perhaps more than a friendship, between Trump and Epstein, which spanned 15 years. The House brought forward its recess because Republican leaders hoped to sap the momentum behind a push by the party's own congressman, Representative Thomas Massie, to force the chamber to vote on a Jeffrey Epstein-related measure. They literally turned off the lights and went home. How about this from Republican leader House Speaker Mike Johnson, justifying his astounding move to pervert the cause of transparency? There's no purpose for Congress to push an administration to do something that they're already doing, he said. And he would be right, except they're not actually doing it, are they, Mike? Trump's Department of Justice last week announced it would not release any further documents from the Epstein investigation, while simultaneously denying the existence of a client list that its own Attorney General, Pam Bondi, had already implied was on her desk a few weeks ago. No wonder that this poll by Reuters suggests that 62% of Republicans, Trump voters, believe that Trump's administration is hiding Epstein's alleged client list. Trump repeatedly promised during his campaign that he'd release the Epstein files. He built his political brand on draining the swamp. But now his own base are beginning to realise that Trump is and always has been a swamp creature himself. More than a third of Republicans disapprove of their government's handling of the scandal. For the first time since he told his supporters to get vaccinated against COVID, Trump's very own supporters are furious at him. MAGA is not buying his excuses this time, and Trump is panicking, attacking people within his own party.
Some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net, and so they try and do the Democrats' work.
And if you think that Trump will survive this just like he survived every previous scandal, then perhaps just think again. This is the very first time that it's not just the so-called radical left, as Trump likes to call them, that are up in arms. This time, it's his own base. The House Judiciary Committee had subpoenas ready for Ghislaine Maxwell, who's still serving time for sex trafficking minors. The Department of Justice announced plans to meet with her amidst rumours of an amnesty if she spills the beans on Trump and other members of America's oligarch class. Trump's now suing Rupert Murdoch and the Wall Street Journal over the release of a birthday greeting letter he allegedly sent to Epstein, concluding with the line, "May every day be another wonderful secret." I'll leave it to you to imagine what secret Trump was referring to in writing to the head of a paedophile ring. Trump commented, "I told Rupert Murdoch it was a scam, that he shouldn't print this fake story. But he did. And now I'm going to sue his ass off, and that of his third-rate newspaper." Trump is lashing out at the press, and his social media feed reads like the diary of a man in full-blown psychological distress. You might think, like I used to, that this is a well-thought-out strategy on behalf of Trump. Bluster, threat, distraction. But since the Epstein scandal blew up, what we're seeing isn't strategic, it's chaotic and damaged. This is the lack of an emotional break that's synonymous with Alzheimer's disease. Trump's agitation is more and more visible in his rants and in his increased use of profanity. He only rarely used to use swear words, but now he's posting them on Truth Social. He's saying them to reporters and the journalistic pool.
We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
It certainly seems to be getting worse and may well be part of his broader cognitive neurological problems, signs of dementia. And that's a danger for the world outside of America too. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer sucks up to the American president at every opportunity, and Britain is still politically and economically tethered to the Trumpian dystopia of the USA. British intelligence services are sharing secrets with the very same people who are covering up their direct connection to the most notorious sex trafficker in modern history. And don't sweat it, but Jeffrey Epstein had British connections too, Prince Andrew. When America's ruling class protects its secrets, it protects the secrets of the British ruling class too. This is accountability dying in real time under a Trump presidency. An American political system so corrupted that it would rather shut itself down than face the truth, learning lessons from the era of Jacob Rees-Mogg and Boris Johnson's Brexit Britain. I recently read Anne Applebaum's incredible book, Autocracy Inc., which documents how modern autocrats copy each other, how they study each other's tools of control. And right now, every authoritarian regime on planet Earth is watching Trump's chaos and taking notes. With Trump's rapidly deteriorating mental state, Autocracy Inc. are already beginning to cheer the latest nail in the coffin of the democratic free world.